St. Joseph Cathedral, in collaboration with Father Saturnino Orius University, presents Tuesdays with San Jose, a weekly online program where we explore everything under the sun, from everyday concerns to meaningful talking points. Join us as we share stories and reflections around and within our community. No matter who you are or where you come from, there's something here for you, where everything's spoken for. And here are your hosts.
A few months ago, our Diocese of Butuan, along with other dioceses around the country, called for transparency, accountability, and good governance from our public servants and our government leaders. Thus, the ITAG movement, TAG, Transparency, Accountability, and Good Governance, that movement was born. But how do we keep that fire burning, right? And how do we live the Christian ideals that that movement proposes?
Friends, for today's episode, we will continue with ITAG 2.0. As we prepare for the 40th anniversary of the EDSA People Power Revolution, which we will celebrate tomorrow, we continue to keep alive its spirit and advocacy. For this afternoon, we have invited two young leaders who will share to us their stories and reflections, particularly on how to let the youth be heard, especially with the issues our country face today. Hello, this is Father Glenn Adam Abamonga, your Tuesdays with San Jose host, Parish Vicar at St. Joseph Cathedral, Diocesan Shrine.
Hi, my name is Shaila. I am also one of the hosts of Tuesdays with San Jose, and I am also a lector in the cathedral.
Hello, Shai. So welcome to our episode 36 of Tuesdays with San Jose.
Yes, very interesting topic we have today, EDSA at 40.
Yeah, EDSA at 40.
Yeah. So ako yung elderly millennial of the group. So I was there. I was alive and kicking during that time. So it'd be interesting to hear from our youth today and how relevant pa ba ang EDSA sa kanila, no?
It's interesting because we are like the post-EDSA generation. So we were born after EDSA.
Yeah, and I was there. I remember. Yeah.
It's interesting. Wow, so continuity with history.
Yes, yeah. So so siguro, before we introduce our guest, shout out, Father.
Shout out to our cathedral community, FSUU community. So I'd also like to shout out our clergy and religious. We just had our Lenten retreat this morning.
Oh, wow.
So shout out, yung topic po kay transparency, accountability. So very timely topic, especially as we enter into the season of Lent. We'd also like to shout out our volunteers, especially the working committees, preparing for our event tomorrow. So hopefully see you ugma itong mga viewers nga naa diri karon. Let's celebrate EDSA. Let's continue the call for transparency, accountability, and good governance.
Yes, that's happening tomorrow, and later we will share with you guys more about it, no, para mahibawan ninyo asa ba mo ugma, how can you participate in the ITAG 2.0.
So I think to begin that, we're talking about ITAG. Let's have this recap of what happened with ITAG. Let's watch this short video about what ITAG is all about and what we are aspiring to and what we are advocating for. Let's watch this video.
We light a candle and we remember there is hope in this world. There is hope. We sing our heart song and we remember there is peace in this world. There is peace. The days are getting colder, the nights are growing long, but there is warmth and wonder, a candle on the seven nights.
have it, iTag 2.0, EDSA People Power at 40, Let the Youth Be Heard, with our guest, Miss Anne-May Monique Jongko and Brother John Adaya. So, palihog, pagpailaila gamay, ug shoutout sa inyong mga gusto i-shoutout.
Ladies first.
Hi to the online viewers of Tuesdays with San Jose. I am Anne Monique Jongko. I am a content creator on Facebook. I work for the government as well. And I am a communications major, so I'm very passionate about freedom of speech and being able to voice our opinions. So I do much of that online and sometimes on the streets.
Good afternoon sa tanan to all the viewers, especially to those persons nga akong i-shout out yaron. So by the way, I'm Brother John J. Adaya, and I graduated at St. Peter College at Seminary last year, April 2025, and then I decided to have my 2-year residency program, and that is why I'm now teaching at Father Saturnino University at Basic Education in Libertad. So now I'm also an advocate of this iTag that the diocese has initiated, because we're calling for integrity, transparency, accountability, and good governance. And sa karon, naglingaw-lingaw, at the same time, naningkamot gihapon nga may mga kabalahanan akong kinabuhi, pinaagi diha sa magtutudlo. So shout out para sa, of course, unang-una sa akong family, Adaya family all over the world, Luzon, Visayas, Mindanao, presuming, no, na nagtanaw karon ng Luzon, Visayas at Mindanao. And of course, I want to shout out FSU family, especially the basic education, to my co-teachers, and then the ORA, the Office of Religious Affairs and Basic Education. And then shout out para sa mga students, grade 5 students. By the way, I'm a grade 5 advisor. Manang ako mga chikiting dyan, relax lang kayo, nandito si Sir, teacher mong papabadlong. And then shout out din sa St. Peter College Seminary Community.
So grabe ba? Sige, klase rin, no? Tanaw ng mga bata niya. Yung international pagigay ta. Shout out to sa mga seminaryan nga nagtanaw. So, kaya pala, huwag mo nang katanaw karon na kay bawal na siya. So, I was just looking at the video, but I remember, di ba, iTag has come a long way, di ba?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
very
for
powerful
sure.
that we show why iTag was born in the first place.
Yes.
Our people suffered so much.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
We suffered from calamities, we suffered from corruption, we suffered from neglect and irresponsibility. And
Yes.
our call continues today.
Yes, and sometimes, Father, you actually forget, right? It's been a few months since, all these corruption issues came out, and the floods really that reached our wherever we are, yung hit us hard, and just watching that video was like being reminded yet again. And unfortunately, you can't show this video every now and then to keep reminding people that this has happened in our government. But I'd like to go straight to Monique, whom, when we were watching that video together, was, shedding tears, no? And it can't be helped.
Yeah.
Tear, let's pick up from that, Monique. No, and I could feel it in. And even ako, as I was watching, parang dun ko ulit naalala na, may kirot pa rin siya. Tell us about what you were feeling and how you're feeling right now.
Hindi na, maiyak jud ko basta it's, kasi working for the government, I mean, pwede man na dili mag-work for the government.
Yeah.
But I chose to work particularly sa agency where I am now, because the work we do, we go to the grassroots level. We see the floods, and
You see
and
those,
sa video, yeah.
na-affect
We see the
talaga.
struggle, pero dili lang magud ka na ang giagian nga suffering. That's every day for the people we can't see every day ba. Also, what more pa nagidugangan pa sa mga calamities, and you know that it can be helped. It really can be helped, but we have less power than those who have power. However, misplaced priorities, no? It's very painful to watch, because daghan kaayo ang indifferent, apathetic ba. So,
And when you say daghan, do you mean, kasi syempre you work in government.
yes,
Do you say
oo.
daghan in government, outside of government, both?
yeah, everywhere. Yeah,
Everywhere.
like in and outside. And it's sad because I'm not speaking for my entire generation, the Gen Zs, but
Yeah.
like, makita na ako na sometimes this generation is focused na kayo sa selves namo. Yeah. dili na mo ma-realize ba na even if it's not happening to us, it's happening sa others ba nako. And I don't know, I'm so passionate about speaking for for the people in the margins. It's because I have always believed na we are dapat
Voice.
we
nila,
should
no?
kanang dapat dili lang atong self ang atong you know, kay if focus lang ta sa atong self, dili jud walay peace na mahitabo because lahi-lahi may tag desires, no? Pero if imong tan-awon ang love thy neighbor baya, no? So if lantawon na to ang ilahang situation na ingon na tapos dili wala tay kanang empathy towards them, kanang how will we sleep at night ba knowing na we're not doing anything. It's so painful to watch kay balik-balik mo siya na problema pero walay solution somehow. Yeah. And inherited rabi nato karon atong freedom. So we dili kayo nato na ma-appreciate. So daghan kay emotions, dagan-dagan sa huna while watching it, and it's so frustrating. Maybe mo na siguro nakahilak jud ko watching it kay pwede man gyud ana na dili nato na maagian pero here we are.
Yeah. I remember that si Monique, di ba, the first iTag that we had the episode with Eternity and Father Jun, di ba, we asked for the gift of tears. I think this is what we need. We have to feel it. And seeing Monique working with the people is really what we need today, di ba? To remind us about that suffering has many faces. They have many stories and it is every day ongoing, pabalik-balik. The frustration lagi nga, we could have done something. We
Yes.
want to do something and
Yes.
that's why we are doing this, di ba?
Yeah.
We continue this.
Ito.
We help where we can.
Yes.
Kay, even if, I mean, we cannot change the world sa katong nag-speaker ko last year sa 7 last words.
Yeah.
You know, Jud, Father, into your hands I commend thy spirit because wala man tayo mahimo. So, nga kanang, you know, changing the world na in our own way. So, we trust Him and then do our part. Because if mag-ingon lang ta na, mawala ra lagi ni pero we contribute dahil to the bigger problem. Mas muda ko ang problema no. So dinhi jud ta sa kani, it's munang I can't say no to this because I know it's for a bigger purpose, bigger than me.
Yeah.
Na siya ba?
It's our small way of just getting that message
Yes.
out there, diba? What about you, Brother John?
Actually, ma'am, while I was watching the video, ibalik sa ako sa una-una when I was I was the host during that time. So saksi ko sa reactions and emotions sa mga tao.
And what was that
And
like?
then very kanang murag kumuton gyud akong kasing-kasing in a sense that people are really calling for this transparency, accountability, and good governance. And then
Yung
we are hopeful.
nag-effort jud sila.
Very effort kayo, ma'am. Especially the parishes nga nag-support sa ila. At the same time, I know nga, dili lang tutungod sa mga parish, tungod kay ila pong silang kagaling. They wanted to go there kay para mahiusa ang voice to let those in the authority or katong mga corrupt people heard their sentiments
cry,
and ilang mga cry sa kinabuhi. Motong as the youth was dancing during the program, nakita na ko na they were not just performing there, but there's something nga ilahan gusto ipaabot nga to sa kadaghanan. And it is an offering to God. We are asking for God nga unta nag-i-plead no unta kinang dunggod ta sa atong mga pag-ampo sa kinabuhi. Mo na. And then para sa ako dako ka siya nga impact that we organize such program because again this ITAG White movement is really this is bunga ni siya or fruit of what we call irrational movements or mga immoral doings of those in the authority, especially those corrupt officials nga nakadungog karon. Hopefully
Shout out.
sila. Shout out. Shout out.
Hopefully.
So I wanted to emphasize, wala ning ITAG White movement kung wala irrational movements or immoral doings sa atong mga corrupt officials.
Yes.
Manang we initiated this kind of
Yes.
movement
No.
for us to be heard.
Yes.
Nakita naman. Dapat ang paminawon.
It's overwhelming,
This is
you know. And it's good, Father, that the church actually led also that ITAG movement because it was also a way nga of telling people, here's an avenue for you to air out
Yes.
yung hurt nyo, and at the same time to come and pray together. Kasi I think I was born 81. I was about 5 years old when this happened. And what I remember clearly, nun talaga was the Catholic Church and people praying the rosaries. And so, as Gen Zs, do you find that that's still relevant? Like I would say in my generation, it was so strong, na yun nga, people would really pray during those rallies. And in the ITAG movement, did we see that as well? People bringing their rosaries, bringing their faith to God, because yung knowing sometimes that there's really nothing else we can do but pray, and that is there's power in that. Did you see that? People
Yes.
praying their rosaries?
They're really praying, as one. Wala lang sila nag-pray just for themselves, but they're praying for the whole community, for the whole people.
The whole country,
especially those, the least, the lost, and the last, and not including the lists. So, mana siyang very significant or relevant kayo sa atong panahon karon.
So, kadam na, we're talking about EDSA, no? Okay, ITAG was inspired by EDSA. I think that the power of prayer ba niya, again, I remember pag sugod ni Monique lang, at nung ganina nga, kahilak siya niya. Remember ko nga, we're talking about political issues here, but we began with spirituality, we began with feelings, compassion for our brothers and sisters, because all of these boils down to, again, the very beautiful gospel kagahapon ba nga, Jesus asked everyone, siya nga, at the judgment day, he will ask what you have done for the least of your brothers and sisters.
Yeah.
So hopefully, we say, Lord, we were part of this. We wanted to make this change because we are not apathetic. Nga kabalo yun sa again sa mga tao namin sa posisyon in one way or another, and we want to voice our sentiments.
Nothing is impossible in prayer.
No, that's so true. And sometimes we forget that. We ourselves forget that. And it's so good na kini nga ITAG movement. But let me read quickly. Father Kitts says, I'm very proud of these two, Monique and John. With these two, there's hope. No?
Amen.
Gen Z. With the hope there talaga of Gen Z. Thank you, Father. So yun, what was that like being in the middle of that? And did you see many of the Gen Z?
Yes. Yeah. Nakita yun ako nga, they were there, kanang they're presenting themselves na they are also victim of this, kaning mga panghitabo. That is why as a victim, okay, of course, their family, naapektuhan ani, kitang tanan naapektuhan yun, regardless kung sa atong status sa life, kitang tanan naapektuhan. And so, this is our avenue to really voice, to voice out everything kung sa gusto nato ipaabot nito sa kadaghanan, just to solve this problem. Though dili man siya ingon nga ma-solve ba dang agad-agad, pero at least we're making steps because every step matters. And again,
like EDSA was yun nga 40 years ago, no? And yet that didn't create that perfect world we wanted, because obviously it will take our whole lives. But it's so nice to see the youth, get up and speak up also for your generation. Did you get any nababash ba kayo on social media? Because as youth, you stand up and, but youth, keep quiet na lang.
Bash online and offline.
And offline.
I like the question, ma'am.
Good.
Because
Same. Thank you
I really like this. Really.
for that wonderful question.
Okay,
Sige, go ahead.
Actually, karon kung if you will stalk it, try kong stalk karon sa akong social media, sa akong Facebook. Na ko mga shared posts, no?
Okay.
I'm really
With caption,
vocal kayo with all the captions.
With caption.
Tapos, diha na ako makita kung kinsa gyud tong mga siguro wala nakasabot ko sa panghitabo karon.
Okay.
No? Tungod kay every time you speak up about this and this, na i-associate sa mga political color, nga nanimang ka. So mo to kung gina-emphasize nga, I'm not looking
For
a political color, a color, specific color. Kung na color indigo, di ka na akong butaran. It's not about that color nga yung ipasabot. Kay very kuan kayo siya. Kanang black and white.
So how do you respond to that? Somebody attacking you, na nakita na nimo, kini siya way, di siya, wa siya kabalo.
Yes.
How do you respond? Do you keep quiet? Do you charge? Do you go, at a steady pace and then,
Ako, padayon na move forward.
Move forward.
Pa-post gyapon every
Post
time.
gyapon.
Kay every time na ako i-post, nagi ka-comment tong uban. So dala na ako na sa bali-balihon in a sense ko wala na ako siya gi-ignore. Kundi ako rin gyapon siya gipanid-an. Kung unsa gyud ang iyang unsa kapaingnan niya ang mga comments sa. So may nana lang kanang di lang gyud ako siya panambalingon kay the more nga akong patulan, the more nga mahulog nga ako mo. Okay, so you at the same time very kuan kayo.
That's good.
And professional.
About Monique.
Monique's like,
Si Father Glenn.
What about you?
I think Since the pandemic, no, this goes way back.
Oo.
I have been red tagged many times
wow.
just because you speak against.
Oo.
Not the government, but the administration.
So you were a student then?
Yeah, I was a student then. And as a communications major, the discipline really tells you to investigate, to do your research before you speak. So
Okay.
you don't just blurt things out without...
Just because.
Yeah, it is an informed opinion, informed statement. So I'm not the type to just rant and say, makaulit kayo because it's na. You, of course, responsible netizen man tano. So, but I don't understand where it came from. Pero, kanang si Kuan, NPA man na. Oh,
Wow.
because grabe. And, kanang diretso dyan nila ingon nga, komunista ka, or Kuan. Yeah, just because you are against, the policies, not necessarily policies, no, but how the government is solving certain types of problems, especially during the pandemic. I think the pandemic was the turning point for me. That's where when you realize, bang, I'm sitting comfortably at home. I have the resources I need. However, some of my classmates need to stop going to school because they cannot afford a laptop. They don't have Wi-Fi, something like that. So you realize nga, hala, this is bigger than me. I think kami may tubig, sila wala. Yes,
We're in the same storm but not in the same boat.
Same ocean, different
Boat,
vessel.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah, different
ganon.
vessel.
Like,
Oo.
ako, basin na ako adto sa to-go nga barko. But some are nasa kanang bamboo,
fisherman's
lang.
boat.
Yeah, ganon man. Yeah. So, dito nag-start. So, I started to question. Not necessarily have opinions yet, but question lang. Why like this when we can do that? Of course,
Yeah.
they will invalidate us and say na it's different when you're in government because this is the process, blah, 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 blah. But then I continued
And
with
then
it.
you join government.
Of course. Because let me see why. And then, of course, there na-establish na ako online na-establish na ako si baon, si negative na person, si walay masulting maayo na tao.
Okay.
Why would I point out na mga trabaho na dapat nila ginabuhat sa mga butang na dili?
And would you reflect on that? Sorry, Monique, real quickly. When people say those things to you, do you reflect on it, or do you like deflect it right away and say, no, I'm not like that? Or do you reflect, am I being...
Of course, I did.
Okay.
I was like, grabe na ba ako ka negative na person? But, or am I, basin sayop akong pagkasulti with the good intentions I have? So
that's good. At least there's reflection.
yes,
as
because
well.
I think during the pandemic, that's where when I was most prayerful, man sad, because dili
that's
lalim
good.
when you are in
Yes.
isolation.
walls, yeah.
And so I was like, Lord, sige ko hilakon jud kay ko marag, Lord nga ano man ni ana. So kanang I cry for the tricycle drivers. Okay, I hear them ba na kanang, pre, wala na may bugas na daw ipanghatag sa City Hall. So like, kami na may bugas. Ano ba? So they don't understand that. I don't tell them that. Pero mag-reflect ko nga kanang basin sayop akong messaging as a comms major mo ana na punto na. Basin sayop akong messaging. Pero akong basahon mag-ask ko sa akong friends, sayop ba? Or sakto siya nga, dili gani because actually na-realize na ko day nga in ana di ay because of what you posted. And I try to initiate conversations. Dili pwede na echo chamber lang na ako on social media. I ask them because they na-realize ninyo ni kana-kana. And I talk to people online because online man tanan. I have conversations with people from Manila, from Davao, Cebu. Okay ra mo, naon sa mo dira inani basad ang nahitabo kay maybe I'm just posting about what I'm going through or what I'm seeing. Pero okay di sa ila, sa amo dili. So actually pareha gyud tagiagyan nato na time and worse pa gani. So ni ko nga okay. And then nabasa na ako isa ka post na I'd rather be remembered as someone who didn't keep her mouth shut kaysa sa during difficult situations such as this kaysa someone who didn't do anything na pwede man untangan na siya mabuhat. So of course dili man yun unpopular opinion man siya all the time kay for them dapat obedient lang ta, dapat hilom lang ta na. Pero nganong naman tayo laws, nganong naman tayo policies, nganong na ay mga certain programs. It's to address a problem. It's not para lang magreklamo. Because, wala. Grabe na frustration. But yeah, For me na ko na, no, until hangtod karon, even people I know since I work man no, in government, I'm a public servant, ana na lang. They still ask me, ano, why do you still keep on, ano, nga taga-government? And then I tell them na, I'm, kaganina akong gisulti, I am a citizen of this nation first before I am a government employee.
Oh.
Ganon, yeah. They
Ganda
tend to
nun.
forget that. They
Ganda
tend to
nun.
forget that, so let's remind
So
them.
many, no, forget that.
Yeah.
To our government officials, no, you are a Filipino citizen first.
And
We are all Filipinos first.
No?
Yeah, and I think I speak then from a place of gratitude why kailangan ko mag-speak, question ba? I'm grateful because I am comfortable and I want this comfort then for others. Ana ba?
reach
I mean, di pa gani na kayo comfortable nga life, maglisod gihapon, nagyapon, ana. But I'm thankful for it man. And if only kanilang sad nga kinabuhi, bahalag dili ta dato tanan, pero at least naalang tay basic necessities ba? Kay I was saying, we don't need so much infrastructure. We just need people to have basic needs. And
Yeah.
then all will follow.
Yeah.
But sometimes, people forget that again. Ba? Busuga ang tao, pa-eskwelaha sininai. Ana lang sa, ginadyo dapat sa ta magsugod.
Tsaka sa una kasi millions lang yung corruption billions naman. And I think
True.
that's why we're tired, no? Before it used to be like, okay, it's part of the system. I mean, even in small ways, Father, you apply for a license, you want things faster. Everybody knows this, there's a fixer. Everybody knows this.
Yeah.
Right? It's not a hidden secret. No? But still we do it. But I think ito talagang latest kasi nga nasabayan na nung when we saw what happened to our brothers and sisters during the flood, and then you're finding out billions naman na, and yet here we are months later.
Trillions. I remember during the last ITAG ba nga, grabe ka sobrang kay Attorney T, she gave a very passionate talk niya.
Yeah.
Siya nga, trillions ang gikawat. Na imagine na,
Trillions.
if you spend like 1 million a day, it will take like, how many?
33
Yeah.
years?
Yeah.
30 years
Oo.
for
30
it to
years.
be spent. 1
Yeah.
million a day. Ako, grabe ka nga, kwarta. Diba nga? Some of it, we could have just, again, as I said, for example, gatong luxury cars, di ba? You will sell that luxury car, even one car, you can send like 5 people to school.
Yeah.
5 or more, di ba?
Yeah.
So,
And imagine how it can benefit the healthcare system.
Yes.
People line up in
Healthcare,
our
oh my
agency
goodness.
every day kay dili sila kagawa sa
Oh my
hospital
goodness.
kay
Oh.
walay pangbayad.
Yes.
Pero if atong i-channel tong trillions and billions
to
into
the
healthcare
healthcare.
system,
Oh, wow.
pwede unta nga dili na
Oo.
kailangan mo pila.
Yes.
Mga
I
parang
asked one
limos.
time, I called. I have some friends, which we know already. Sometimes we call our padrinos.
Yes,
Again, this is
oo.
not a secret, right? As I was hospitalized, I called a friend because our bill was so big. I'm like, can we ask for some help? I wasn't ready for this financially. And they were like, nako, di man ka...
qualified.
Indigent.
Di man ko indigent. Akong gitubag taxpayer man ko. That's true. I'm not an indigent. No, it's very true. But I'm also a taxpayer. And again, so it hits everybody. I'm not saying the indigents don't deserve it because they do. But so do the taxpayers. No, kasi we
And
also...
I wish we wouldn't have to beg for it pa
Yeah.
ba?
Exactly,
Something
diba?
like that, yeah.
And why does it have to go through certain people and not through agencies,
Yeah.
for example? no?
Like for example, my mom, kaduha na siya nag-cancer. So, you don't, I mean, nakay-savings, but dili man mo na mapreparahan
goodness,
and everything
yeah.
that comes with
Mahurot.
it, diba?
Mm.
So, and then, kailangan pa ba namo ni, dili man unsa na lang tong mga walay trabaho.
Yes,
And
exactly.
then people pag yun, I mean, dili man nila fault, but mura bitaw og i-shame pa nila ang people for going to agencies na mag-ask og help na, so nga nawa man nangandam again because it's not happening to you.
Yeah.
Ana ba? So, muna ang frustrating kay ni ripple effect na siya ba? A domino na siya na effect. So, help us, Lord.
Luoy ba yan? Tarayan pa niya. Uban ka ng, those people coming there are not as literate as you are.
Yes.
Ng level of confidence,
Yes.
level of
Yes.
kanang option nila with life.
Yeah.
Dili nga nakadaghan kung sa ato. But I like what Monique said, di ba nga, we need to initiate conversations because
Yes.
we cannot stay in our echo chamber. It's very beautiful, especially with the new generation ba niya, online niya. You need kayo mag-post and then you are validated. Many people will
Yeah.
share your post, like it, but those are the same people who share your views.
Yes.
How about those people who are not of the same view, not of the same persuasion, diba?
Yes.
Unang I endure yun talking to them despite.
Yeah, yes.
So,
It's good man kana ka diha sa
Oo.
imong agency.
Oo.
I ask them questions. I don't, attack them. I just ask them. So, mga internal na mga
Yeah, I
reflections.
think we begin with understanding a human taba, di ba? Mga tao tang tanan.
Yes.
Passion.
Yes.
We all suffer, di ba?
True.
So, daghan na discussion.
I know daghan, and as our ops, like guys.
Yeah.
Okay, before we move on with this really interesting conversation, we've got real quick Catholic trivia for you folks that is related to EDSA as well.
Did you know that the famous EDSA shrine we see along EDSA is officially named as the Shrine of Mary, Queen of Peace. The shrine, which was completed 3 years after the EDSA revolution, honors the Virgin Mary and is a testament to the transformative power of the Catholic faith to bring about a peaceful, bloodless, and a truly miraculous revolution. And that's our Catholic trivia for today.
Yeah, it is a beautiful shrine.
Yeah,
that Mama Mary.
whenever I pass by EDSA, nakita ko ginakong shrine.
No?
I'm fascinated to look at it.
I know, Mama Mary talaga, she helps us and she really sees us through. And I like that it's Mother of Peace, no? Because that is what we want
Yeah.
here in the ITAG movement. Si brother naman, like from the last ITAG movement, it's been a few months
Yes.
already. And tomorrow you're going to be hosting
Yes,
ITAG 2.0.
And I'm very
Abangan,
excited
abangan
about
ninyo.
Abangan,
natin.
Brother John will be there. What are you expecting to happen tomorrow?
I'm expecting a lot of people. A lot of people. We're not just there for out of requirements. Nga kanang na-oblige na siya nga moadto siya. Kundi din ato siya with a whole heart. Nga andam siya nga muhatag siya ang kaugalingon and to witness and to be with the crowd also shouting for transparency, accountability, and good governance. And I'm hoping for physically, practically, kung tanang maayo gid ang weather tomorrow. No?
Yes, iampo
Iampo
gid
nato
nato
na for a
nga,
good weather for
guys.
tomorrow.
Yes.
Especially and then safe ang tanan. Kay para mas mahimong hapsay ang ato ang program. And
Yes.
then we're also hoping for kanang about the talk. No, na unta ang mga tao andam sila moabli silang kaugalingon in their heart and their mind to learn something and to live what they learned.
As part of the organizing committee, kami man ang mga behind po ana. What we expect po nga daghang people and what we expect in particular are young people in
Yes.
general.
Yeah.
Daghang mga young people mo apil kay.
Yeah.
Kaya lagi we want to continue this and as our guests shared, it's not just the problem of the people in power, of older people, but it's all our problem, di ba?
Yeah.
So, young people, apil to young people.
Yes. Lalo na kayo talaga yung future ng country na to. So we really want the young people to come and show up and have your voices
Yeah.
heard, right? What can you say, Brother John, to people who don't want to pray, who don't want to join ITAG and who will say, mag-rally na lang ko, di na ko diha sa ITAG. How can we encourage them, the role of prayer in this event?
Okay. So actually it's very more practical if we say nga sa rally lang ko kay dito sa rally kay mas na-chance nga madunggan may tungod kay saba kayo ni. Again, in this program, we don't need to shout. We don't need to shout, but we just need to be loud. Loud in our prayer. We have to be loud in terms of sa atong kung sa atong i-advocate, kung sa atong i-look forward. So na lang. And for those people nga mas kampante sila to have rally and to shout for everything, always remember that dili na to makaya kung kita-kita lang. Kay kini siya, this is really a human problem. No? This is the problem of the society and we need divine intervention. And we really need divine kinahanglan giyahan ta permi sa atong mga ginabuhat. And this problem will not be solved if we just depend on ourselves. Kay kung boto na naon mo pass by naman ta, no, niya ato na pud ipasa sa uban, we need divine intervention
Yes.
para mo-guide sa ato, para mas mahimo siyang powerful because this is what really ang atong need karon, prayer. Kay mura na gini ang kanang problema karon sa mga tao kay they really depend themselves para sa
Yeah.
ila kaya na nila,
Yeah.
no?
No?
Kanya kung butong naon di ginato mabuhat kung wala ang ito.
the beauty of the Aitag ba to share ni Brother John nga. It reminds us nga it continues EDSA in a way, di ba? And
Yes.
both
yes.
are in the context of prayer. So
Yes.
we rally, we want to air our sentiments, but we remind ourselves that this is part of prayer. What we are
Yes.
doing is prayer, di ba? Asking God. Katong itong last item na to, we remember the biblical connections, di ba?
Yes.
With the war with Moses, and then
The
raising up his hand,
Yes.
the wall of Jericho. So all rallies, biblical rallies, was in the context of prayer. And
Yes.
our rally for the country is still our prayer. Di ba?
Yes. It's really us coming together, yun nga, sort of like pouring ashes down our head. This is the way we do that in today's world, is we don't sit back. We do it quietly in the way that there's prayer, but knowing and having the faith na kusog and madungog yung ang atong prayers talaga. And as in everyday life, we don't really rely on ourselves, like what you said nga, Brother John. Monique, because you work in government now,
Yes.
I'm just curious.
I'm here
How
to
do
assess
you-
myself.
How do you maintain yung integrity, knowing where you are is also where you see some corruption. So how do you, when somebody approaches you and does something that whatever it is, they want to do something under the table, they want to do something that's not part of the process, how do you, as a Catholic and as a Christian, maintain your integrity?
Before I entered the government, no, I was always told na ayaw, do not let them dull your sparkle, yun first. And then, like, ano bang klaseng sparkle yun? So then, I reflected, pwede man di ay, no, na mo, appeal ta sa isa ka certain group and not share the same beliefs with the people that you are with, no? And then we see, we see those. Not necessarily sa akong agency lang, but because you work in the government, you then realize na, okay, it's happening all along pala sa system talaga. So how do
Systemic
yeah,
pa
it's a
talaga siya.
systemic problem. So how do you
How
keep?
do you?
First and foremost, I always remind myself, because baon man ko, and I question all the time, I make sure that I don't become a hypocrite. No? Parang, I preach this, or magyaw-yaw ko about integrity, and then, di din ako siya kaya panindigan. It's always paninindigan for me. Like, dapat mo follow through ko sa akong ingon. But of course, it's because I go to church, and I remind myself ba na makita mo ni Lord ang tanan. Mahadlok mo gito sa Ginoo. So,
That holy fear.
Ako kay grabe man ko kabaon and everything sama sa gingon ni Father brother kagaina sorry po. Brother kagaina dili nato dapat kalimtan no na wala ta kung wala ang Ginoo. So murag with all my pinaglalaban i-offer jud gihapon ako siya sa Ginoo. So I pray all the time. Kay naman jud temptations, 'di ba? Na makaingon ka na mo okay na lang ko ani or ma-apathetic na lang ko kay wa naman ko mahimo about it, pero no. I-pray jud ako siya nga Lord, keep my not necessarily anger, but keep the fire burning within me, no, na firmly gihapon ko man nga di dyan na mao. Kay sometimes, no, ubos naman akong posisyon. Dili man ko dako og power. Pero whenever na mahitabo, no, dili na siya pwede. Kay, no, naaman tayo mga balaod. So, I make sure diha pa lang daan sa guidelines and policies, musunod na taana. Dili nato na, every centavo counts. So, dili nato na dira, sa tawagan i-modify. Huy, di na to na pwede. Kay ako, kuan naman ko sa, muagi sa ako, I do the reviews. And so, pag may pagdili, kay, naibalaod, no? Diha ta. So, diha sa follow ta na. So, bisan sa ako na level, dili ko gusto magpasway sa anything na form of something na ma-question sa akong integrity. So, kana siya, dili po nako na makaya kung dili nako ginaampo tanan nako nga buhaton kay di man ako kaya kung ako lang kay pwede jud anytime makaingon jud ka nga ay okay na lang ni kay mo benefit nga
tanan man na.
And pareha ng among agency no kay mo kailangan makamukuan og assistance no? Akong mama ma hospital kailangan man gyud sa pinakasimpleng butang mo pila jud ko dili because taga diha ako nga agency ako na unahon, no. Mopila jud ko when people ask me, pwede may makayog number or anything, mga naatay process. Let's go through the process because kami, ako, I go through the process para wala tay gilamangan kay sa inana bilang gamay na butang mo build na biya kag mga culture, habits and kuan. So diha pa lang may kog no po. Linya ta. Kay bisan ako mo linya ko. Nana siya. So lisod siya pero kailangan
Kaya.
nato panindigan.
Yes.
Kay I can't be a hypocrite.
Lagi.
Never.
Sakto lang. Or yan, gidya kay let your light shine. Or yan.
Sparkle
Oy,
yan,
ay,
diba?
masuko ang mabansa ko ha kay tagaw daw ko. Di daw na ako sila tabangan.
Yeah.
Oo. No, I'm telling you, not a process.
Yeah.
Matabangan ang tanan mo adto.
Yeah.
However, dili tamang lamang.
Ah.
Mao lang siya. Pero masuko sila, it's okay. Bahalag masuko mo sa ako. Sunod
Yeah.
lang ta sa process.
Being countercultural ng good karon is going against the flow, and I mean, you have to show people to their face what they're doing. What the normal that they
Yeah.
think is bad. It's
Yeah.
it's
Yeah,
corrupt. You know?
yes.
Yes.
True, no? Parang yun nga, I think tayo yung nagiging, even Catholics nga, we're counted na nga as radical. Parang, yeah, you know, we are the radical ones when we put our foot down and say, no, this cannot continue. No, this isn't allowed. This hasn't been allowed in the past 2,000 years. Right? So, ako in that sense, I am amazed also with how we pass that, our Catholic faith to the youth in Gen Z, and proud to, see these young...
Because we believe as well that corruption really starts with kanang bitaw mentality nga gamay ra bitaw ni. Or siya or
True.
sila man gani.
True.
Gamay ra
Yes.
bitaw ni mentality.
Yeah.
Kay sa ako experience when I was in the seminary. Ma'am, sorry.
No, it's okay. Nag-react ako sa...
Kaya tinuod na, ganang mentality. Ginagmay nga mentality, pero it creates ba nga, corruption na gina siya. Kay when I was in the seminary, ang gina-emphasize ko sa among seminary rector, ang kasaligan sa gagmayng butang, kasaligan yes. sa dagko nga butang. So, bisag wala nagtanaw sa imo, you have to practice. You really have to live with integrity.
Yeah.
Kay maanad man ka ana.
Yes.
Ako bitaw nagtanaw,
Yes.
kamera bitaw ni akong kawan.
Yes.
So diha mag-start ang tanan corruption. So ang bigger corruption na dako ang corruption nag-start niya sa bisan sa ginagmay. So mo nang sa amo, actually maka-share po na ako ni kung ibutan na to sa context sa seminary. When I was in the seminary, nagyud mi balaon nga kanang gitagaan ng mga lockers. So our lockers, it is our responsibility to take good care with them. So kinana mo siya ang pingan kay gihatag man na sa amo. So we take responsibility kung unsa mga mahitaboan na. It takes mo take pug accountability kung maguba na siya. So ang kanang kung amo nang maguba, automatic ang gingon sa among seminary procurator sa una times 2 ang imong bayaran. So kung ang kana siya nga candidate is 4,000 nga locker, kung imo na maguba times 2 8,000. So as a seminarian, ang among response ato, we really have to take good care with our locker. Kay kabalo mi nga kining tanan, this is just a privilege. This is not our right. Amoy push forward nga kini amo ning right. No. Even pag-eskwela sa seminary is a privilege.
Yes.
So mo nang amo siyang ampingan in a way nga kung makaguba mi, di mo mi makabayad kung in the very first place amo ko siya gitaro. So mo nang ako na i-connect dito badik nga walay itag white movement kung walay mga irrational movement or walay mga immoral actions.
Yes.
Yung
By
mga
all.
buhat.
I think yun yung i-remind sa ato ni brother, no, na yung corruption, it's easy to point fingers and say, ang gobyerno manggod, ang officials, pero tinuod na, pag kita lang gani, again, sa small things, we let it slide. Sige, mag-fixer na lang ko, pagkuha na ako ng license. Anyway, everybody does it. That's corruption. That's you giving in to these small,
So, naindot to something nga. As sometimes the mentality mo good is us versus them, di ba?
Yeah.
Sila hugaw, kami hinlo.
Yes.
Sila ang dautag, kami okay. But nindot to something ni Bishop with the I tag man, di ba? I means integrity. What you're talking about, integrity begins with me.
So,
I.
yeah.
It's I who will change the world, beginning with myself. So, our bishops have always been consistent nga. If you want renewal in our country, if we want to battle this culture of corruption, let's begin with ourselves.
Yes.
Sugod ta sa itong kaugalingon. Kaya may kabaguhan kung dito ra ta paminti sa gawas, dito mo tanaw sa itong kaugalingon.
Check na itong pride
Yeah.
sometimes. Kay,
Yeah.
especially conversations online.
Yes.
When you try to butang na to educate or question, at least na lang, nganong nakaingon ka ana, people easily get mad.
Oh, yeah.
Because they think na, kung maigo lang pride.
Yeah.
Maigo atong pride. Ako
Yeah.
before, sa akong kababaon, itong estudyante pa ko, lahi na siya sa akong kababaon ron. Kay, sa una, ang pride, nag-uban ni mo dito, dili, Jud, kay dapat in-ani siya. Ana. So, mo to dito, maka-reflect ka. Karon matanaw na ko nga in tawon pod, mahadlok sila makoreksyonan, mahadlok sila sayop sila. Kay, feel nila maulawan sila when you counter what they say. So, kana di man guna nato mapugos na ubsin yung pride, dapat personal mo guna siya nimo siya nga choice nga kanang bitaw no dapat willing ko mag-learn. Bitaw no dapat day ko willing mo butang sa ako sa akong self sa ilang situation. Kinaingon ana ba kay if kita lang dapat ang sakto per me na wala jud. Yun, di ba? So check in sa sakto self niya. Mo kuan lang ko gamay na kanang napoy sad situation na masako sa dang people sa church because hisgot mga nang ako separation daw.
Yeah.
Ana ba? So ma-remind pud nato no through these conversations, especially I tag ang people na we go to church because mostly sa atong mga balaod because of religion man sa right and wrong.
Yeah,
diba?
yeah.
So,
It's based, no?
Yeah, so
On that.
mo ta dapat sa church to ethics to listen sa wali din dili kay masuko na noon ta or sometimes mo atong church for wala na minaw ana ba so daghan gyud kaayo og kanang dapat nato ma-remind ba di lang sa uban pati sa atong self kay minsan makatulog ta sorry.
Yes. Oh, I remember somebody recently posted, like, I just attended church and the homily was beautiful. Unfortunately, I was also beside people who pretend to go to church who are also sinners. And I'm like, by pointing that out, like you yourself went to church and heard that homily and are a sinner and you're in church. So kita-kita ta dito.
Correct.
Sinners kitang tanan. Nobody is clean. And we go to church kasi we really want to know your ways, Lord. How do I become a better Filipino citizen? And like what Bishop said, kung kanina I am a Filipino first, before I am a public servant, Bishop also said, I am a child of God first. Before anything. And I think that's something for all of us to remember. You know, when we come to the ITAG movement, first and foremost, I am a child of God. I am loved. And so let us show each other that same love that is given to us daily as well. And yeah, that's a call to ourselves and to our officials na, yun nga, magmahalan tayo and we do it by treating each other as brothers and sisters in Christ.
And I hope we see things as opportunities. For example, if ma-present kang temptation, this is an opportunity to practice integrity. An opportunity to be grateful na nakoy trabaho. An opportunity to be a part of something
change,
bigger than
yes.
Ana ba? So,
And every opportunity that will come, we should be grateful.
yes, ganon. Gratitude.
Yeah. Lent pud ba karon. So I think that is our penance or sacrifice for Lent, di ba? Ako gina-share online nga na may nagtanong mga kaila pod nga. Every day na i-challenge Lent. Huwag magsungit, huwag maging proud, di ba?
Yeah, I saw that. Bawal daw magmalditaan. Alright. We're challenging.
I think di ba that opportunity becomes for us a prayer itself, a sacrifice. Lord, kasala manggig ko Lord, pero karon maningkamot ko nga dili, di ba? God who knows our heart is very much delighted with our sacrifice.
Yeah, you
It's big and
trying,
small.
no?
And I hope dili na to malimtan na sa EDSA. Kato na change, diba, peaceful man to siya na kind of rally. Dili na to ma-forget, especially sa mga Gen Zs, no, and the younger generation na the freedom we have today is inherited. We are free to express ourselves, post online, because the people then that fought for our freedom in a very peaceful way, and some dili peaceful. Some people were the collateral damage of that, diba? So kana lang na gratitude na we get to experience and have these opportunities today because people then fought for what we have now. We should never forget because people tend to forget. Diba? And
Because EDSA is more than history.
yeah,
It is really the foundation of our life at this present moment, at the present generation. Because EDSA is really, it reflects the Filipino values that we have. Especially this pagkakaisa, malasakit sa isa-isa, pananagutan, at saka yung pagiging honest, honest individuals. So, it's very significant gapon natin karon.
And we can't let history repeat itself. Not necessarily in that way, but in a very deeper and darker way. Magod, it's happening again.
It's happening again.
Yeah, people are being silenced. And dili lang of authorities but if you are against me, you should shut up. Ana na biya karon. You can speak because we don't share the same values.
Yeah.
Parang you're not allowed to
Cancel culture.
yeah, kinakancel ka. But, cancel culture is not really about people. It's about canceling corporations that violate human rights. So, let's not use it in a way na grabe ra ka vain or selfish. Ano ba? So, ayun guys. Maalala natin yun. Yeah, gratitude gid gihapon because it helps us kanang ground ourselves ba na, oh my God, dili ni ako karon tanan.
Yes.
Na people na niagi og blood, sweat, and tears for me to have this today.
Yes.
My parents jud ang first na ga-remind sa ako because my father was on the streets then because a friend of him was shot then in the plaza because because they were not allowed to exercise their rights.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Okay. And then now he sees me doing this and he's like,
Yes. I taught my child.
yeah, he just didn't know how he inspired me to, you know, to speak.
In your own way, no?
Yeah, in
Do
my own
something
way,
about it. Stand up for the youth as well.
Yes.
And
I wish na ang mga bata maka-reflect on that as well.
yeah. Dulce,
Si Nanay
Balani.
Dulce. So, si Nanay Dulce, big yes. Thank you so much, children of God. Let's all unite. So, salamat, Nay. See you pagka. Si Nanay Dulce is one of our catechists at the cathedral. So, continue to
there
form
you
young
go.
people who
Oo.
are socially responsible and socially aware and also humble and grateful, di ba? Knows what God has given them.
Yeah.
So I think hopefully na-inspire itong mga kabataan
Yes,
sa mga salita.
yes.
And the good thing is that these words come from our young leaders, young
Yes.
people, Gen Z like you,
Yes.
like us somehow.
They go like you. Elderly millennial over here.
A younger millennial, so youngest day. So,
Pero yeah, totoo. So thank you so much for coming here and hopefully no sa atong mga kabataan, join us in the ITAG 2.0. This is happening tomorrow.
3 p.m. to 8 p.m. So it's a celebration that we have prayer, of course, but also celebrating the legacy of EDSA. Kana ba nga, we are grateful for the gift of EDSA. We are grateful for the freedom that was won for us, the freedom that is given to us, and we want to continue the spirit of EDSA by calling out all the injustices in our government. Mogay na nga, ITAG 2.0, di ba? We continue ITAG. So ganina, before nagsugod ng program, tawag sa kong mama ba niya. Sorry, sige sa tanong nga. Kasi mag-host ka sa Tuesdays, anak ko nga. Ako, ikaw na po sa may topic ninyo. ITAG. ITAG na po, amin akong naman na. Anak ko,
Padayon.
basta wang pa'y madakpan, di gini mo undang. Di ba kay,
yes,
ang
basta
gikawat
wala
o pag-ibalik,
pa.
di may
Yes,
mo undang. So
yes,
this is
yes.
what we are doing. It will have ITAG 3.0, 4.0 until 100.
If
Basta
that's
kay,
what it
we will
takes.
continue to say
Yeah,
what
that's
we need
what
to
it
say.
takes. May we never tire of calling out our officials, no? So this is us tomorrow, Feb 25, Gingona Park, Butuan City, 3 to 8 p.m. at, again, Gingona Park.
So just reminders for everyone. This is the notice from our city government. So we're working with the government and there will be road closure at Gingona Park. So related to our activities, na road closure from 3 p.m. to 9 p.m. So please
Plan
be
ahead.
reminded, plan
Yeah.
ahead with your trip. And then there are alternative routes. Just be reminded that Iluna Street and CBE area until JC Aquino and San Jose Street beside Almont and Gingona Park is off limits. So, dili pwede ba suportahan ay rerouting plan gihatag atong city government na para sa activity. And just we'd like to ask everyone that this is a peaceful gathering. So let's be
Yes.
peaceful. Let's comply with the government standards. So no parking anywhere, especially sa JC Aquino Avenue. Bisag
Yeah.
kinsa pa na dakpogin mo. So may
Yes.
balo lang daan, di ba? Let's be responsible Filipino citizens.
Yes. So sana bisag kinsa dakpon diha.
Yeah, true.
Hopefully.
So yeah, please stay updated for real-time traffic updates. Visit the official CTTMO Facebook page. It's already here. Or just type Butuan CTTMO. Yeah, and of course, our regular programs here in the church is also Salo Salo sa Kanto, which happens every Saturday at 6 a.m. Riverbank Cleanup Drive happens every fourth Saturday of the month.
Yeah, that will be February 28th. So
For
this
this
Saturday.
month,
So
right.
join us.
And of course, Sunday, Feed with the Street Kids also happens every Sunday. So
And,
thank you.
yeah, and also after this Tuesdays with San Jose, let us meet together for our Tuesday devotional mass, 6 p.m. at the St. Joseph Cathedral. So, magkadto kita kang San Jose uban sa atong mga pangamuyo, isip mo sa kakatilingban, o isip mga anak sa Diyos. So, join us, let us pray together, let us celebrate the gift of San Jose for us as a community.
Yes, we are on Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram.
So for next week, what do they expect, or what are they expecting, Shai?
Yes,
our
for next week,
episode?
we are going to meet one of SJCDS spirit-filled and lively communities. They will be celebrating their 7th anniversary real soon, and we're going to meet hear about the inspiring journey and the story of the feast Durano, Light of Jesus family.
Yeah, so that will be exciting. One of lively communities, really. The feast. Come and join the feast. Okay, so thank you for joining us once again. Thank you for our guests, inspiring young leaders, Monique and Brother John. So
Yes. Can we have at least short nga pahinumdum para sa young people?
Yes,
Sige.
go right
So
ahead.
for all my fellow young people out there, continue to be EDSA. Continue to educate and engage. D, we continue to demand accountability. And S, we continue to strengthen solidarity. And A, we continue to act with integrity.
Monique.
Monique.
For everyone watching, especially mga kabataan, let us always remember that when they said kabataan ng pag-asa ng bayan, sana hindi ito manatiling mga salita lamang. Let us put that into action. And I hope I know self-love is the thing now, but let us also radiate that kind of love towards our brothers and sisters, our neighbors, so that when we understand that kind of love, hindi lang mga sarili natin ang ating ipinaglalaban, kundi pati ang mga karapatan din nila.
Madamong masalamat.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Beautifully said. Thank you so much, guys.
Dear friends, the famous disability rights advocate, political activist, and author Helen Keller had these very wonderful words. She said, "Alone we can do so little. Together we can do so much." May the EDSA People Power remind us that together, as one people, as one church, we can do so many things, especially change our country. Join our ITAG 2.0 White Movement. Let us celebrate EDSA and let God's peace and justice reign in our people and in our country. This is our Tuesdays with San Jose. See you next week.
Bye.
Bye-bye.